Howdy folks, it's Monty with XS Sights, and today we're going to install one of our new Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 Optic Ready RMR plates and an RMR on this M&P 2.0 compact. Come on in and we'll get started. All right guys, let's get started. First thing we need to do is go over all the stuff we're going to need. Obviously, we need our M&P 2.0 Optic Ready. For the RMR plate, we have to have our RMR. I'll show you why here in a few minutes. The new plate with all the hardware included in that, sticker and review card, our blue Loctite. We're going to need that for the installation. The optic plate, a T10 Torx driver bit, and we have stainless screws. Now, there are two different sets of screws. They're different lengths. The shorter set is going to be for an RMR. We have a slightly longer set that's for use with a Trijicon SRO. We're doing an RMR, so I can set the SRO screws to the side. We're also going to need some form of degreaser. We're using our trusty gun scrubber, but again, as I always say, rubbing alcohol, acetone, fingernail polish remover, all of the above will work. Some Q-tips. I have a pick for disassembly. I'll show you that momentarily. And then we will need a screwdriver handle. Currently I have a T8 Torx bit installed. That's for removing the screws on the factory cover plate. We're going to get started by field stripping the gun. Set that aside. We're going to do a quick visual inspection down into the magazine well and into the chamber. Take a quick look away. We're going to repeat that. I'm going to run a finger in there to make sure I don't have a cartridge in the chamber. With the slide locked open, we're going to rotate our disassembly lever down, what would be down. And then I'm going to reach in with my pick and catch my sear takedown lever. It's a little yellow lever that's in here just under the ejector, if I can get to it. And our slide will come straight off the receiver. I'm going to go ahead and pull the recoil spring and the barrel because I don't need them and I don't want to drop them out of here while I'm trying to show you guys other things. All right, we're going to start by removing the cover plate. Like I said, it's a T8 Torx bit. Just back them screws out. These have come out. Yours may be a little tighter to get broken free right at the start, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Those and the cover plate aside. All right, so there we go. Cover plate's removed. We're going to degrease everything. But before we do, one of the things I want to bring your attention to, this silver plate right here, that is the firing pin safety block, plunger, and spring assembly. When we go to add Loctite, we want to make sure that we get plenty of Loctite on here, but we want to be pretty shy of that. We don't want Loctite creeping down into there. Our plate, we're going to go ahead and dry fit everything. You can tell we've got two bosses on the front. Obviously, those go towards the breech face and ejection port. We're going to dry fit, just drop that on there. Take our optic, set it on top. Everything's fitting good there. And we'll pull our screws out. Again, just dry fitting them, so I'm just going to take the bit and do this with my fingers if I can. Swap that over. All right, dry fit, the screws are snugged. I'm just going to take a quick visual inspection, make sure that I don't have any gaps under my plate, because I shouldn't, or under my optic. Everything's looking good and fitting good, so we're going to break that down, degrease everything, add some Loctite, and assemble it for real. So, I don't know if you caught that. There are no screws that bolt that plate to the slide unless you have the optic. The nice thing about that is it simplifies installation to some degree, and it removes potential failure points. Instead of having 4 screws that we have to worry about, we have 2. Right. Protect your optic, especially when we start playing with the degreaser. Most modern optics have some form of coating on them to aid in light transmission, prevent fogging, some scratch resistance, all of the above. Most of your degreasers, and especially gun scrubber, can eat those coatings. So be careful when you're working with gun scrubber around that optic. We want to keep it away from the stuff, and I'm going to be very ginger on how I press that to make sure I don't get any droplets over on the glass. I'm just going to go ahead and come in and degrease all of this with that Q-tip. The slide has a QPQ or melanite finish, as well as being made out of stainless, and then the new Optic plate has a BlackNitride finish. Both of those finishes are extremely corrosion resistant. Plus, once we get the Loctite in here, we're going to seal everything from moisture, because the Loctite will help with that too. We want to make sure and get down in those screw holes because we want that Loctite to adhere. Same thing with the bottom side of my plate. We're going to degrease everything. And we're going to degrease our screws as well. All right, get our Loctite out. Okay, time to start final assembly. Now, if you have a torque wrench available that reads in inch-pounds, that's definitely not a bad thing to use. I don't have one handy, I'm going to use a screwdriver. When you are assembling, and if you do have a torque wrench, we're looking for 6 to 8 inch-pounds. That's all the torque you need. We're going to rely on the Loctite and that torque, the proper torque, to hold everything in place. So we're going to start off, we're going to put a good drop right here, just in front of that recoil lug, the rear recoil lug in the slide. A drop just aft, speaking Navy terms here, I guess, of the front recoil lug. I'm going to come over here on what would be the left side of the slide if I were looking through the sights of the dot. I'm going to put a good drop right there. Again, as I mentioned, I want to shy away from that safety plunger assembly because I don't want to have any chance of Loctite leaking down into there. And then I'm going to put a few drops right here between that front recoil lug and the slide. And one off to the side, on each side. Again, I'm going to let that Loctite spread out as we bolt this into place. As we bolt it into place, it'll squish out and spread out. That'll help with adhesion as well as creating a moisture barrier. We'll go ahead and drop our Optic plate in place. Make sure that we're happy there. Set our Optic on. And then we can add our screws. Single drop of Loctite on each screw as we install it. This is stainless, so it's usually not very magnetic, so I'm going to drop that in by hand so I don't lose it. I'm going to go ahead and get about 2 threads and then start the other screw. All right, tighten that down just until I feel the head stop, okay? Make sure both sides are kind of at the same point, and then I'm going to go just about 1/8 of a turn more. Again, 6 to 8 inch-pounds if you have a torque wrench. All right, that's done. From this point, I need to let that sit 12 to 24 hours, and 4 would be a better choice. Give that Loctite plenty of time to fully cure. The other thing I like to do, and I don't have a paint pen handy here, but I like to go in and I like to witness mark my screws. That way I can do a quick visual inspection to make sure that they haven't moved as I'm practicing or carrying the handgun. My personal handgun in the morning before I leave the house to come to work, obviously I do a quick press check. Nobody should have touched it. I live alone, but old habits die hard. And then if I have an optic, I take a quick glance at my mounting screws to make sure that the witness marks are still lined up. If they aren't, for some reason, that gun goes out of service until I can tear it apart, reassemble, retorque, and then verify zero. There you have it. You are ready to install the slide barrel and go to the range tomorrow.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Also, be sure to be following us on Instagram and Facebook to be up to speed in all the new things that we're doing. If you guys want early access into some of those cool things that we're doing, make sure that you're signed up for our email newsletter. You guys get exclusive discounts, early promos, and like I said, insights to all the new things that we're doing. As an American-made, family-owned company, our mission is to empower the good guy to be more confident, self-reliant, and prepared through functional weapon upgrades. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.